أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الذين هم من خشية ربهم مشفقون والذين هم بآيات ربهم يؤمنون والذين هم بربهم لا يشركون والذين يؤتون ما آتوا وقلوبهم وجلة أنهم إلى ربهم راجعون أولئك يسارعون في الخيرات وهم لها سابقون. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Respected elders and brothers and our beloved viewers that are tuning in from wherever you are. Alhamdulillah, we are continuing today the Tafsir and some of the discussions around surrounding Surah Al-Mu'minun. We have reached up to verse 57, so we will continue from there. Just to give you a little bit of context of what was happening before, Allah Azza wa Jal was telling the kuffar that, do you think that the fact that we are providing you and extending you with time in this world and giving you money and min malin wa baneen and children, all these things, do they think that this is actually a ni'mah for them? But Allah says, نُسَارِعُ لَهُمْ فِي الْخِيرَاتِ بَلْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. We're only hastening to give them more good and more time and more respite so that they can continue to do the evil that they do, because that will be used against them on the day of judgment. It's like one of our teachers used to give a very good example for this. He used to say that when you go fishing and you throw the rope or whatever the hook, you attach some food in that hook, bait, and once the fish bites it, you kind of give a couple of, you give some moment for the fish to bite on it very hard, right? So it's kind of like that. They are getting some time to bite on that bait for a longer period of time, because that will be used against them on the day of judgment. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ هُمْ مِنْ خَشْيَةِ رَبِّهِمْ مُشْفِقُونَ. But as for the opposite group, the other group of people who are the believers, what about them? Do they just go about bragging about what they have in this world, the money, the children, as Allah Azza wa Jalla says here, the money and the children, how successful they are and everything like that? Do they go around doing that? No. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ هُمْ مِنْ خَشْيَةِ رَبِّهِمْ مُشْفِقُونَ. They are indeed those who are fearful of their Lord, right? As for the believers, as for people of taqwa, they are, one of the prime qualities of those people is that they are mushfiqun, right? They are very afraid of the fear of their Lord. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ يُؤْمِنُونَ. And they are the ones who believe in the signs and the verses of Allah Azza wa Jal. And another quality of them is that they do not do any sort of shirk with Allah Azza wa Jal. And the most important verse in this topic is وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْتُونَ مَا أَتَوْا وَقُلُوبُهُمْ وَجِلَةٌ. Here Allah says, and they give whatever they give in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal, وَقُلُوبُهُمْ وَجِلَةٌ. And their hearts are very fearful when they give whatever they give in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal. Why? Because first of all, they know they will go back to Allah Azza wa Jal, إِلَى رَبِّهِمْ رَاجِعُونَ. And because they don't know whether their a'mal that they give and present in front of Allah Azza wa Jal, if they will be accepted. So they're always in a state of fear. Ya Allah, I am doing this, I am praying salah, I am giving zakah, I am giving everything that you're asking of me. But at the same time, we don't become complicit. We don't become comfortable and say that I am good, I am in good hands, I'm doing everything I can, and inshallah it's all good, right? That element is there, but at the same time, there has to be an element of fear as well. Because if you don't find the right balance and we only do it out of fear, then we get discouraged and we become despaired and we say that, oh, nothing is being accepted and I am going to, I'm not going to have any good ending anyways. What's the point? And if you're too hopeful, then we stop doing anything and we do whatever you want. So there has to be this right balance. Aisha radiallahu anha, she said that I went to the Prophet ﷺ and I asked the Prophet ﷺ about this verse, this exact verse. And she said that she asked the Prophet ﷺ, are these people who drink alcohol and they steal and they do this and that? The Prophet ﷺ said, no, O daughter of a Siddiq, but there are those who fast, they pray, and they practice charity, but at the same time, they're afraid that their good deeds may not be accepted by Allah from them. So it is these people that Allah is talking about here, that whatever they do, whatever ibadah they do, they're always afraid whether it will be accepted from them or not, right? So we have to find the right balance between those things, between fear and hope. أولئك يسارعون في الخيرات وهم لا سابقون. Those are the ones who hasten to do goods, right? وهم لا سابقون, and they outstrip others therein. They pass other people while doing those good deeds. So if you really want something, you have to hasten towards that thing. Like the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man khafa adlaja." Whoever is scared to miss a trip or a journey, he will wake up early. Like when we try to catch a flight, right? A lot of times we leave very, very early because we don't want to miss the flight. If we miss the flight, we have to go through a lot of hassle. So man khafa adlaja or man adlaja balagha al-manzil. And whoever hastens, he will reach his destination. He will reach his destination. So let's say there's something that came out in the market and we really want it, and there's high demand for it and low supply, and everybody wants it. If we really, really want it, we're going to hasten. We're going to be the first in line. We're going to keep checking the restock if it's there or not, right? And then finally, it will come into our favor, and maybe one day we'll get it. Like nowadays, right now, the young people, they know there's like a console that's in the market, and it's like low in supply, and everybody wants it. People are going online every hour checking if it's in stock. They are doing everything they can to get that thing, and then they end up getting it. But the point is, if you really, really want something, you have to hasten towards it. We can't be sleeping and slacking and procrastinating at the same time claim that we want that thing. And in this case, we're talking about Jannah, right? Allah inna sil'at Allah ghaliyah. The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah Azza wa Jal has a merchandise, which is Jannah. And the merchandise of Allah Azza wa Jal is very, very precious and expensive. It's not going to come easy. It's not going to come easy. So you have to hasten towards it. ولا نكلف نفسا إلا وسعها ولدينا كتاب ينطق بالحق وهم لا يظلمون. And in the next verse, Allah Azza wa Jal says, ولا نكلف نفسا إلا وسعها. And we do not charge any soul or oblige any soul to do anything إلا وسعها, except for what is within their capacity. As in other verses, as we know, Allah Azza wa Jal says that we do not oblige upon you more than what you can handle, right? More than we can handle. So whatever you're going through, always try to remember this verse, that it was meant for me and I can handle this. Right? They give an example of when you have a bow and an arrow, and people, before the arrow launches and it strikes, they pull it very, very strongly, and they pull it back, and then they release it and let it go. So before you launch into doing something really good, you have to put yourself under pressure. You have to become uncomfortable and get in that uncomfortable zone, and then you'd be able to lift off, basically. وَلَدَيْنَا كِتَابٌ يَنْطِقُ بِالْحَقِّ وَهُمْ لَا يُظْلَمُونَ. And we have with us, there is a book, and the book that records all of our deeds. يَنْطِقُ بِالْحَقِّ, that will speak with the truth on the Day of Judgment of everything that a person has ever done. وَهُمْ لَا يُظْلَمُونَ, and they will not be oppressed whatsoever at all. Everything will be there, transparent. Whatever you did, you'll be responsible for that. وهم لا يظلمون, and they won't be oppressed. Right? بل قلوبهم في غمرة من هذا ولهم أعمال من دون ذلك هم لها عاملون. Why do they not compete with one another to do the goods? Because قلوبهم في غمرة, their hearts are covered with confusion. من هذا, يعني from the Quran. وَلَهُمْ أَعْمَالٌ مِّن دُونِ ذَلِكَ هُمْ لَهَا عَامِلُونَ, and they have other evil deeds besides disbelief which they are doing. All of these things are accumulating and becoming a hujjah and evidence against them. حتى إذا أخذنا مترفيهم بالعذاب إذا هم يجأرون until when we take and we seize and we punish the affluent ones amongst them with a punishment, then all of a sudden they start crying out to Allah Azza wa Jalla for help. Right? They make humble dua with loud voice once they see other people being punished. Means when the punishment and vengeance of Allah comes to those who are living a happy life of luxury in this world and overtakes them, they scream their calls for help. And that is how it is, right? Whatever we see a calamity that is near us, right? Maybe in another part of the same country that we live in, then we start waking up and then we start making dua to Allah, right? When we witness these things with our own eyes, then we wake up a little bit. Similarly, is the meaning of the verse here. لا تجأروا اليوم إنكم منا لا تنصرون. Do not cry out today for help. إنكم منا لا تنصرون. You will not be helped anyway from our side. Right? Certainly, you should not be helped by us. Means no one is going to save you from what has happened to you, whether you scream aloud or remain silent. There's no escape and there's no way out. It is inevitable the punishment will surely come to you. The reason is because قَدْ كَانَتْ آيَاتِي تُتْلَى عَلَيْكُمْ. Right? Verily, my verses used to be recited to you. تُتْلَى عَلَيْكُمْ. But what did you do? فَكُنْتُمْ عَلَىٰ أَعْقَابِكُمْ تَنْكِصُونَ. But you were turning back on your heels. Right? They used to hear the Quran, and they were the people of the Arab. They understood the Quran on every letter, every word, because it was revealed in their language. But yet, because they saw the harm that it would come to them if they followed the Quran, that's why they turned away. مستكبرين به سامرا تهجرون. While committing three crimes, they were doing three things while they were turning away from the Quran, or because of three things, you can say. مستكبرين به, in arrogance. They had a lot of pride and arrogance, which is one of the reasons why they turned away from the Quran. Refers to the arrogant pride which the Quraysh felt because they believed themselves to be the guardians of the Kaaba. They were like, we are the guardians of the Kaaba. Our ancestors were the ones who took care of this and they passed this down to us. And that is what we're going to hold on to. Like, why do we have to listen to this new message that is being presented to us by Muhammad? Mustakbirin. So kibr leads a lot of people away from the truth, even though they see it right with their eyes. Right? The Prophet says, Al-kibru bataru al-haqqi wa ghamtu nas. Kibr is when you deny the truth in its face and you look down at people. Another reason is because they did not have value for time. Samiran, spending the night just chit-chatting, wasting their time away. You know, when we are unaware, we are heedless, and we have ghafla in our heart, we lose value of time, and we have no clear understanding of where time is going. You know, this is that a new year has passed just recently, you know, and ideally we're all supposed to just pause for a little bit and think about the passage of time. Just the passage of time itself carries a lot of importance, and you know, it's a sign from the signs of Allah Azza wa Jal how time is passing. When we are young, we don't really give a lot of thought or attention to how fast time is passing, because we want to grow older and older, right? When we are 7 years old, we go around telling people we're 7 years old. We become 8. As soon as we become 8, we tell people we're 8 years old. You know, you just want to get older. You couldn't get older fast enough, right? Because you think exciting thing is going to happen to you when you go older and older. But as you grow more older, you realize that time is actually a very sensitive thing. Once you lose it, you can never ever get it back. You see, physically, you are becoming a different person, right? All of a sudden, you're growing a beard. Your beard was black, now is white. You have children, you have homes, and you realize that this is it. There's no going back. Wherever you are, that's it. You cannot get younger anymore, right? The time of your death is coming closer and closer, near and near. Everybody has a set time. And as time passes, we're getting closer to that time. We're not becoming older and our age is not increasing. Rather, as time passes, our age is decreasing because there is a set time for us. And every day we're getting closer and closer to that. So we should once in a while think about these things, especially when a day passes, week passes, months passes, years pass by. To think about that before it's 30, 40, 50 years later, and we realize how time was within our grasp, but it left us. We saw time leave us in front of our eyes. Where did those days go by? What happened to those days? As if those days were just a dream, right? So that is one of the reasons why these people rejected the Quran is because of the ghafla and the heedlessness they had. And one of the result of that is that they should just spend the night away chit-chatting and wasting it away. Tahjurun, speaking evil, right? They should just spend the whole night speaking evil. There are others who don't spend the night like that. There are others who spend the night, right, awake, but in the worship of Allah Azza wa Jalla. أَفَلَمْ يَدَّبَّرُوا الْقَوْلِ. What's the reason why they're rejecting the Quran? Allah is asking. أَفَلَمْ يَدَّبَّرُوا الْقَوْلِ. Have they not pondered over the Quran? If they pondered a little bit with an open mind, they gave it a thought, they would have accepted. أَمْ جَاءَهُمْ مَا لَمْ يَأْتِ آبَاءَهُمُ الْأَوَّلِينَ بَلْ جَاءَهُمْ. That's the meaning here. Rather, the only reason why they're rejecting the Quran is because something that didn't come to their forefathers came to them. Okay? As if this is a problem. It's something that didn't come to their forefathers came to them. Well, this is something new. Why you have to follow this? Why don't we just stick to our religion of our forefathers? أم لم يعرفوا رسوله أم لم يعرفوا رسولهم فهم له منكرون. Or is it because they don't know their messenger and that's why they're rejecting him? They don't know their messenger, meaning at least if they could have established the argument that we don't know who this man is, we don't know where he's coming from. Nowadays, when we have a candidate that's running for election, they scrutinize everything about that person because he's going to be a leader, he's going to guide and lead other people. And so they go into details of everything about that person. So whenever something comes up, they were like, hey, look, this is the problem with this person, and we cannot advocate for him, and we cannot support him. So that's a good reason to reject someone. So is Allah asking that? Is it that they don't know who their prophet is? They don't know who Muhammad is. That's why they're rejecting him. They know the Prophet ﷺ better than their own family members, right? Or as well as they know their own family members. As Allah Azza wa يَعْرِفُونَهُ كَمَا يَعْرِفُونَ أَبْنَاءَهُم. They know the Prophet ﷺ as they know their own children. They knew in the Torah and they knew the Prophet is coming. Even the Quraysh, even though they didn't have Bible or the Torah, they still knew everything about the Prophet, where he grew up, who his parents is, and he is born from a legitimate marriage, and how honest he was, how much integrity and dignity he had while growing up. So what's the matter? What's the reason? They know everything about him. Why do they still reject him? Right? أَمْ يَقُولُونَ بِهِ جِنَّةٌ. But rather it's just that they just accuse him with certain things. They say, بِهِ جِنَّةٌ. He has jinn with him. He is possessed. And he's just gone crazy. He has no idea what he's talking about. So we're just going to excuse him for some time. Right? بَلْ جَاءَهُمُ الْحَقُّ وَأَكْثَرُهُمْ لِلْحَقِّ كَارِهُونَ. But the truth indeed actually has come to all of them. بَلْ جَاءَهُمْ بِالْحَقِّ. He came to them with the truth. وَأَكْثَرُهُمْ لِلْحَقِّ كَارِهُونَ. And most of them, they turn away. They reject. They dislike and they disacknowledge the truth. وَأَكْثَرُهُمْ لِلْحَقِّ كَارِهُونَ. وَلَوْ اتَّبَعَ الْحَقُّ أَهْوَاهُمْ. But if the truth followed their desires, if the Quran was to just say whatever they wanted, which is basically one of the things is shirk. If the Quran just confirmed the belief they had in shirk and idols and believing in multiple gods, لَفَسَدَتِ السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ وَمَنْ فِيهِنْ. The heavens and the earth and everything in between would have collapsed and it would have been corrupted. Right? Because, like, as usual, when you have multiple leaders governing one body, governing one population, there is going to be problems. One is going to say it this way, one is going to say it that way, and that's how problems occur. So if the Quran was to be revealed based on whatever they wanted, they will give us multiple gods, etc., then there would have been a lot of corruption that goes on, and the universe as we know it wouldn't exist. بل أتيناهم بذكرهم فهم عن ذكرهم معرضون. But rather we brought them their remembrance, and we brought them the Quran, which was directly revealed to them. فهم عن ذكرهم معرضون. But all they do is turn away because it does not align with their wishes and desires. Another reason they could have rejected the Quran is if the Prophet ﷺ asked them to pay him for the service that he is giving to them. That, hey, I'm giving da'wah to you, so you give me money. تسألهم خرجا. You're not even asking them for some payment. فخراج ربك خير. Because of course the kharaj, the payment that you get from your Lord, is the best. وهو خير الرازقين. He is the best of the providers. وإنك لتدعوهم إلى صراط مستقيم. The only thing you do is call them to the right path. وإن الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة عن الصراط لناكبون. But indeed, those people who don't believe in the hereafter, they are deviating from the right path. Right? And in the hadith, the Prophet says that you people are like the moths that when they see a fire, they all try to jump to that fire, not knowing that if they fall in that fire, they will die. And I am similar to those moths as you. You people are being misguided because of the ship that you are in, and I'm trying to save you from that fire that you are all falling into. So this is the end of this page of Surah Al-Mu'minun. There's only about 3 pages left, inshallah. We hopefully can finish these 3 pages over the course of the next 3 weeks, inshallah. I hope this small session discussion that we have every week is beneficial, and Allah Azza wa Jalla write this in our scale of good deeds. Inshallah, we will continue from the verse number 75 next week if Allah Azza wa Jalla gives us all life until then. We'll stop here. May Allah Azza wa Jalla give us all the tawfiq. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين. أستغفر الله.